to look at that. Draft is on your screen. Team X on the purple side versus Peru on the orange. And we already have those bans coming in. Latios and Galarian Rapidash for Team X, while Azation being hovered here for Peru.
Interesting bans. Okay, so Team EX getting rid of the Latios as well as the Galarian Rapidash. I think that was a very smart ban from EX because that was definitely a Pokemon Peru wants to pick up, but that also indicates that Team EX don't want it themselves. So what is going to be their choice of Pokemon? And Peru get rid of the Ho-Oh themselves. Interesting choice there. So first choice for Team X is the Suicune.
It's a strong one. We talked about it. It's a purple one pick for sure. You just guarantee that you have that very strong power pick. And just like the powerhouse that Charizard is right now, you're going to see quite a lot of it throughout the weekend. And Snorlax, always your very reliable, great body blocker with block, and just so much hindrances that it can apply.
I actually really love this opening here for Peru because they've kind of left their options wide open. You've got the Charizard that's there for the firepower. You have a Snorlax that can frontline as well. The next pick's from Team EX. So it's the Mewtwo and the Serena. Serena has picked up a lot in popularity just recently because I think teams are starting to realize how strong Serena can be. So adding this to the pool here for EX, they have even more Disable on top of that Suicune. And this is going to be the setup that they kind of need for that Mewtwo, right? Because you want to create that gap so Mewtwo can safely attack from the back lines and also, you know, just keep everyone away. But the thing is, though, Peru, they have great ways to dive that backline past the Serena and that Suicune. They have Lucario added to the pool, and of course Charizard, he just flies over.
Yeah, it's true. Quite literally, it flies over. I was looking at the hover for the Clefable, and I thought it was a really good idea. If we were to see a gravity build, it would really cancel out the X speed of the Lucario. But we instead saw the Umbreon and the Blaziken, while the last pick for Peru is a Alola Ninetales.
Interesting choice for the Alola Ninetales. Okay, so that's going to be their choice of a special attacker. I mean, it provides you the slows, the disables. It can be a very annoying Pokemon. The Snow Globe is also a very fantastic Unite to pop in a pinch. But the thing is, it's up against a Blaziken.
That's quite strong. It really, really is. This is going to be a tough matchup. Yeah, just the amount of power that you can have with the overheat is quite too much for a squishy attacker like Alola Ninetales. But on the other hand, you also have the Blissey, you have the Snorlax that can guarantee that front line. And on the top path, you have the Lucario that can just really do well in top lane, like always. In any case, 1v2, 2v2, the Lucario just really just shines in any situation early game. So
yeah,
I think they should be okay on that front, at least for the early game. We'll see.
For the early game, but the thing is we also have to consider that late game situation. We will be going into Rayquaza and just looking at the two drafts. If you see a Blaziken, that is a Pokemon that almost always should be getting the secure on that Rayquaza. So for Peru, is the plan here to really just run down EX for the majority of the game and basically prevent them from taking the Rayquaza? Because that is an option, but if they get slowed down at any point during that mid to late game and they give any kind of wiggle room for that Blaziken to just really run away with the match, I kind of feel like they're going to shoot themselves in the foot with this draft.
It's possible. Well, getting into this game here, first one of this series, Team EX versus Peru Unite. We have a rather slow Central Area Pokemon lineup for here. Top side though, oh no, Chansey, this might just be your doom. And a K opener goes to Team EX. Tempo just trying to buy some tempo, some time, quite literally. But unfortunately, Chansey did not get away.
Yeah, although we do see the Charmeleon heading into the top lane just to provide some support, but yeah, this is not a great start, unfortunately, for Peru because you've given away that free experience with the Torchic who got that knockout. You really need to do whatever you can to either keep the Torchic at a Torchic level or even at Combusken, because the moment it hits that Blaziken level, that's when things can really go sideways in those matches. We do have a rotation in that bottom lane. No knockouts, unfortunately, just more so you're just locking in those wild Pokemon. Back in that top lane, though, we do have Tempo providing a lot of damage here onto the side of Team EX, but it looks like they will continue with that pressure there, but I think they're running out of health here. Team EX maybe taking a little bit too much, but not enough damage for Peru to finish them off, and instead, we do have our Serena fully evolved here, providing that last second stomp to lock in that wild experience.
It's good. It was a good backup because things were looking a little dire there, but it was still a good rotate from both sides. You had the central area coming to help and guarantee the Swabblers. Now going for another engage here. That's a nice slow.
Oh,
it's a
Serena.
3v2. Lucario's in trouble, but Temple will get onto pad and start healing and shielding. With now the 8-minute mark, we're going into the central Swabblers. And Mewtwo just on the back here of a Nemo doesn't get that flamethrower. So it's going to be Team EX who secures most of that experience.
I'm a little bit concerned here because Peru feel like they're kind of all over the place, unfortunately, whereas you can see Team EX, they're really gripping up to take these major objectives together and denying those crucial experience points away from Peru, really slowing down their mid-game tempo. So if I am looking at these two teams, Team EX are in a fantastic position to potentially run away with the matchup if they didn't lose the Blaziken there, but really beautiful freeze finish off there from Peru.
Yeah, it looks good. You don't have Suicune, you have the Alola Ninetales, next best choice. Now Serena going to the back line, and there it is! That's going to be another KO for the side of Team EX. And quite slowly, but they are still maintaining that. Now Mega Evolved here on the bot side. Ooh, nice one. Good slow, just getting Mewtwo away from the chase.
So I think the match is still up in the air. We are looking at a slight point advantage for Peru, but really things can just sort of go in any direction here, especially once we have these Reggies up on the map here. Charizard is there to try and zone away. Blaziken there to provide assistance. We do have the Snorlax to start things off. We do have the stuns, the slows, the ice, really playing into their hands, and Peru get their first knockout on the Blaziken. The one Pokemon that could really make things difficult for them to try and take the objective, but Serena's come in, and we know what Serena is capable of with a huge stop locking down too. They do manage to grab the buff, however, and oh man, Peru, they looked good, but they just did not have enough to finish it off.
Yeah, it was close. It's some of those things where the early XP that you don't get is gonna make you feel like you're just out of damage. That threshold does not really connect, but it's still gonna be that buff for Peru in the bot side. While on the top, Regieleki still standing, burning down here, fire on fire. Now going back to the bot side. Ooh, the Aura Cannon doesn't hit, but it's still a finish. Now actually for the side of Peru, still trying to get any more, and they do 2 KO streak going out to the Lucario, still chasing out on the Mewtwo. Gets the teleport, goes for the berry, and is gonna be able to escape, but now it's still a very good moment for Peru to just score.
There were some great knockouts for Peru as well. They took out the Blaziken. They also got a huge knockout on the Serena, which gave them a big boost of that experience. And Peru really picking themselves back up after a very scrambly early game where things looked a little bit lost in those lanes. And look at the levels now. Fantastic position here for Peru. You've got 11 on that Charizard, 10 on that Lucario. So they're really ready to go and start these fights. Whereas for Team EX, they're scrambling for experience on anyone that is not that Serena. So for Pisterio here, there's a lot of pressure on that Serena to really provide that opening for EX to come in and finish off those Pokemon.
Might just be that Queen Ascendance. Now using that Avalanche there, Xenus trying to get somebody in the bush, but Pisterio taking the front line, just zoning people away from the Regieleki. They're not going to be able to get into the pit, and now Team EX is doing quite a good defense, going on for that Queen Ascendance, just like we said, pushing out as well with the Blissey, but Peru is falling at the seams right now, going for the berry. Xenus will take one out instead. Oh, the Blaziken doesn't get that overheat, so they are going to go down. Peru is still having the numbers with a Nemo still flying up into the air. They were able to scare everybody away, and this Regieleki is not going to hit back.
I think Zynus' Snow Globe really played a role there in just sort of keeping EX off their goal zone, especially the freeze, the damage that came out of it as well. So for EX, even though you had the Regieleki there to try and provide that push in assistance and damage, for Peru, you know, those knockouts are pushing them further and further ahead in this matchup. They have a huge level lead, and if things continue this way, their late game is going to look absolutely terrifying. And, you know, this Blaziken might not even be a factor, but look at the steal coming in from the Umbreon, stealing away the Regice. But Blaziken being isolated thanks to the block from that Snorlax, but where's the follow-up damage? There's too many Pokemon. The Snorlax, though, coming in with another stun. Oh, Peru, can they hold the fort?
Well. Team EX is pushing out full power, pedal to the metal, and that's going to be the last attempt for defense for Peru, and this bat will go down at about like 15 overdunk there. But I have to say, that steal from the Umbreon really did swift the pace, because if Peru had gotten the second bottom Reggie, it would have made a huge difference in the XP.
Okay, so I kind of want to get your opinion on this, because we've now started to see these two teams play. Thoughts on Team EX? Are they as weak as some people said they were.
No, I don't think any teams at Worlds are weak at all, because we have the top of the top, the cream and the cherry on top of Pokemon Unite players. And Team EX is showing that they can definitely put up a fight against such a seasoned roster like Peru. There's tension here. Avalanche is going to push this arena right. Oh, they come in and try to get the Queen Ascendance and almost taking down the Lucario, which is opening space because the Stereo still has so much HP on the tank. Avalanche again, just trying to zone it out. Flamethrower 2 coming from the Charizard, but it's Team EX who is bursting down on this Reggie like it. They stop. He's not going to reset just yet, going out for the block. There's Peru Unite trying to do something more. The Snow Globe, but it's still going to be Team EX who finishes off at the end. There's another hit as well from the Blaziken, and they're keeping on pushing. Serena will go down, but that's a Reggie on the top. It hits bad, and the overdunk is huge.
Team EX, I have to say, I think some people are going to look at this play and they think, what is this Serena doing? The Serena created the opening Team EX needed. He went for the dive onto the Alolan Ninetales, forcing out the Snow Globe and backwards eject. That was what Team EX needed to sort of break through. They locked in, they got the Reggie Alecki, and then unfortunately for Peru, things really just fell apart from there on, because you've basically lost a lot of freedom that the Alolan Ninetales would have had if they were able to really dish out that damage from the back lines. Oh, Peru, they can't afford to be bamboozled by this. They do still have that point lead, so if they can somehow defend the Rayquaza and prevent this Pokemon from being taken out and scoring points from Team EX, they can still win this. But, you know, Team EX, they want to fight. This is a team that wants to brawl, and they're trying to go for the poke. Oh, Sophus looking a little bad here.
Well, this is definitely a Blizzard Sisters kind of moment, trying to get the Lucario up and healthy, but Tempo goes down. Pistero will guarantee that knockout. Now into the Seismic Slam, going him up into the air. Peru trying to maintain some damage onto the enemy backline, but everybody is just so low on HP, even the tank, even the supporter. And Team EX is just cleaning up the house, keeping on moving. Look at the Snow Globe, and it's huge, but is it gonna even be enough, Denali? They're still trying to chase it down. There's the helping hand, and now the Alolan Ninetales will be caught between a rock and a hard place, and Team EX does have the numbers advantage.
But the problem here for Team EX, they win that team fight, but everyone's coming back. They did not have enough firepower to go in and finish up the Rayquaza themselves, so they're basically at a standstill here because no one can score. The goal zones are far too deep, and the game is getting too late here, so 45 seconds to go.
Looking very tense with Kami on the back of that pit, just attacking Rayquaza, maintaining some of that pressure. They are slightly behind. They know that Queen Ascendance into the air, onto Tempo. Now Lucario will go down, so Team EX is up ahead with the block inside the pit, trying to get Team EX away from this Rayquaza. But just the amount of damage that it can do, it hasn't gone down though. Snorlax is still standing. Are they going to be able to do it, Team EX? They will guarantee Rayquaza. But there's a backup from 46 here, turning into how many that is, mathematics. And although he was close, Team EX has the shields, and I think this should be it.
It all came down to that snipe onto Lucario. Lucario was a major Pokemon Peru needed up and running in these team fights, but the fact that it was taken out practically at the beginning of the team fight, I think Peru just ran out of gas. They really
The fact that Pisterio was just doing so well in this arena is the fact that they went in so quick into the Queen Ascendance, but they had the Suicune to have the amount of CC, crowd control, hindrance in the zone.
Look at the respect band.
Yeah, it is a respect band for sure. And the fact of the matter is, when you have that much hindrance over the enemy, while Serena comes back from the Queen Ascendance, she can just reign queen.
Oh, okay. So
all right.
Already a bit of a change here. So we saw Latios banned out in our first matchup, but this time, bit of a change, right? Because we had some new bans. Charizard banned on the side of EX. Peru getting rid of that Serena. So Latios going in the way of Team EX. And I'm a little bit concerned about this because we did mention this at the beginning of our broadcast. Latios has been a bit of a trick pick for a lot of teams. They think they have that first pick option to grab this Pokemon, but you pick it up this early, you provide so many opportunities for the enemy team to counter pick this.
It's the very basis of a draft, isn't it, Danily? And looking at Peru here, they decided, because they were the team that lost, and we have a loser pick sides system, they chose to go orange side. They chose to give away that first pick that purple can have. Instead, they're going to go for the counter, which the last pick of orange will guarantee. So they get the Blaziken, they get the Ho-Oh. The Hooper has been banned quite a few times, but I'm interested about this Miraidon. That's a huge pick, Ray. Hold on. What have I been missing?
I am already very on board with what Peru has at the moment. You've got Sakura in the Blaziken, you've got Ho-Oh as that massive front line, as well as the ability to bring back your teammates. You have Hooper there for your mobility for your team, also sustain. Miraidon, very solid attacker as well. Really love seeing this legendary whenever it appears. So this matchup, this game in particular, looking much better for Peru. But look at EX though, I have to say, interesting choice of Pokemon. You've got Latios, but you're pairing this up with a Suicune and a Clefable. And then your central laner is Dodrio? Is that what we're looking at here?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is this central?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I don't think there's much of a choice here. Well,
Oh, and Animo. Is this Scyther?
ooh,
That has to
interesting.
be
Yeah,
Scyther.
they are just such a good Scissor Scyther player, so that would be really fun to watch.
Oh, this
Absolutely.
is amazing.
And they kind of
Yeah.
need to have that backline access because at this point, Overheat, although very powerful, it is a static move. You can eject button with it, but you rely on having that at your disposal. So you just need to be waiting in that line, and it can be kind of predictable and easy to evade. Now on the side of Team EX, I think we might be seeing a follow me Clefable, just so we can have even more of that going power together because of the Dodrio, because of the Lucario, because as long as you keep, just like last game, as long as you keep your attacker safe, you should have pretty much a lot of gas in the tank to finish out that game.
Yeah, so I'm getting a feeling we should be going to a game 3, but it's just based off of what we currently have for our team drafts. But Peru, looking fantastic. Really, really love Peru. Peru's composition, I kind of feel like this is much more reminiscent of how this team likes to play. Very aggressive, they have multiple options, and then of course you top this off with Animo on a signature Pokemon of his, which is that Scyther. We've seen this Pokemon absolutely pop off last year. And so knowing this, I think Team EX, they have to be very aware of Scyther's presence, what Animo is likely going to do. So my question here is that how does Team EX sort of respond to this Scyther pick? Because this is a very niche pick, it's a very player-centric pick, and Animo, I mean, he's revealed one of his aces, which is public knowledge.
Yeah, now that I think about it, actually, because of the Scyther, it might just be a case of having gravity. Okay, open up for Peru Unite! As that Clefairy will go down. Bot side already having the presence of Anemo, going for that Suicune, but not going to be able to finish it off. There's the counter invade as well, the counter gank as well, coming from the Dodrio, and it's just going to fizzle out for the moment. But we still have that Swablu Altaria spawning in just a few seconds.
We'll have him coming in just a second, but the Dodrio, so this is a very different game here for Pisterio because he played Serena in that previous matchup. He's much squishier now, and that means you are open to being punished for mistakes, and that's going to be the first knockout there. Oh, so close for Animo to get a double knockout, but that Cleaver Lip was able to slip on out of there. This is the power of Animo Scyther. You cannot let this man run away with the matchup because we know what Scyther does. Can do incredible damage, especially if it's over-leveled. And we're starting to reach that point because it's level 6.
And if you think about it, this is such a good composition for a Scyther. You
Yeah.
have not just the Hooper, who's going to get you back full health if you go in too deep, and you can preemptively, here we go, have the Hyperspace Hole in position. You also have the Rekindling Flame from the Ho-Oh, so you have all the options to get the Scyther standing.
Oh man, oh Gar, I'm looking a little scary there. Thankfully it's going to be able to walk back to that goal zone. It's just a Hooper. Those basic attacks should not be enough to take it out. It will score though, so okay. I guess you want to grab those stacks, very important.
It's true.
Sometimes,
you gotta go for it. At some point, it's just necessary to go for it. Wow, that Flamethrower is doing quite a lot of heavy work. Was able to take one down, but there's the Dodrio also with a 2 KO streak. Now Team EX with a good presence here, as we are very close to having those Reggie spawning. So major presence from both squads in the bot side for the Reggie, whichever each one it is. Now Miraidon, I have yet to see which move did it choose. I would say it would be more of a range instead of a Electro Drift. We'll see what is the case. We're rotating to the top side. Pisterio has to be careful. There is the potential to go back bot side, Denali, because of the Hooper.
Oh, he really wants the Dodrio. Oh, but Pistachio with the quick feed was able to absolutely juke him. He's going to try and call him out with the steal there. Oh, but the Dodrio, he still gets it. Pisterio, he says, no, no, no. Oh, no, it did go to Animo. Don't
I
listen.
mean, that side is just really, really good tempo. Ooh, bot side, Team EX will claim a knockout. Still trying to push. Ooh, Dodger's doing really well and just poking out a Nemo. But the
I love
problem
this
here
matchup.
is they are not just getting KO'd. They're very close to it, but not really. Look at the backup, and it's a bait.
Oh.
There it is with your backup from Draken. Could just go for the rotation here on the bot side. Still needs to be careful, but having a Hooper, you can easily do that.
Oh man, beautiful rotation there coming out from the Ho-Oh just to provide support there for Animo and make sure that he was going to win that matchup. And I feel like now we're starting to see Team EX maybe making some of these micro mistakes. Like I can see Pistachios need to constantly poke and prod at that Scyther because you want to prevent this Animo from being able to collect experience for free and also grab those free knockouts. So yeah, I can see where this is going, but I kind of feel like that window for Pistachio is closing. He's got to do something different. You need to pivot to a different strategy now. It is not just a case of chase Animo and win. You now have to worry about this Miraidon and this Blaziken that are going to play even bigger roles than that Scyther in that ultra late game.
And looking still at this half midpoint of the game, 5:35 on the clock. Peru United will take down this bottom tier 1, and we still have both tier 1 pads from Peru available to have quick access to those hyperspace holes. Now trying to get a sneaky invade here, so close to getting the red buff, but not really. Now the finish off could come with the Drio. Here it is. There's one back to base with the hyperspace hole, but there's still so much that can be done with the Dodrio's finally starting to escape.
Yeah, Dodrio got a nice pick up. I have to say, picking up the Miraidon was a pretty nice knockout as well, because you've slowed down the progress on Miraidon, especially as this game gets later and later, because we've just hit the halfway mark. We've got 5 more minutes to go before the end of this matchup, but still 3 more minutes to go before Rayquaza becomes a factor. Looks like Blaziken has been sort of pinned in a corner. We'll be able to run out of there, though. Unfortunately for Team EX, they just did not have the necessary lockdown to keep that Blaziken in place. And now we're just in a bit of an awkward stalemate situation because, unfortunately, there's not a lot of experience on the map here for EX. They kind of want to move.
Exactly, because it was precisely a Nemo who was invading and taking that EXP away. So, Daniele, it's just the experience that Peru has to have that macro knowledge and just say, yeah, we need to take the resources away from you so we can guarantee our late game. Because that Scyther is level 12, the Miraidon 10, Blaziken on 11. It feels really good for them right now, but the fight has struck down. Now there's the Aura Cannon. We'll go in the portal back to the Pokemon Center and we'll come back healthy.
Oh boy, Team EX, they have grouped up, and actually the Dodrio trying to be a bit of a menace, using triple trample as well. Full commit onto that Miraidon, will get the knockout, does escape, but that means it's going to be a 4v4 in that top lane, and they will secure it. Beautiful secure coming out from Komi, but here comes Animo, just gets the delete button on that Latios. Well, sayonara to all of the mythical Pokemon on this team. Suicune is down, Lucario is down. It's just the Dodrio and that Clefable. This was supposed to be a big win for Team EX, but Peru, they say, you can have your small win. We get the even bigger one.
Exactly. When you get the team fight win, it's sometimes much better. When you're talking about the top Reggie Alecki compared to the amount of resources you get from the Reggie Steel, it hit the pad, that's fine. They didn't even get to score because Peru was able to guarantee that fight win and just take down those numbers. Now looking at a lot of EXP on the left side of your map for Team EX that could be used here to be a leverage into that final stretch.
Okay, so I will need to point out here, coming into very close, the final stretch. Animo is sitting on a massive level advantage over the majority of the competition. Now, I do fear about this because he's playing a very delicate Pokemon now. Scyther, amazing in that early game, but as it gets later and later, you become thinner and thinner. The thinnest sheet of paper. All it takes is for someone on Team EX to breathe on him to basically knock him out. So now Animo, in these late game fights, he cannot afford to make mistakes. He needs to have his team create those openings, or he has to somehow find that dream opening himself, because there's a lot of things on Team EX that can really cut him down. if he makes that slight mistake. So I think if anything, Peru, everything is on Animo here because, yeah, you've got a level 12 Miraidon. Yes, you have a level 13 Blaziken, but up against what Team EX has, unless you get rid of one of the core Pokemon on EX, I still think EX may be able to win this team fight overall. Last 2 minutes here, Soph. It's gonna come down to one of these teams finding the opening, and is it gonna be Animo? Look, he's hunting in that central area. Oh, he's
yeah,
scoring.
looking to get a back cap actually. Now it's still a little bit indecisive of what they are going to do as they see Team EX going for the Rayquaza, but he's gonna reset in a second as nobody has
look at the
really
wraparound.
commit to it. Oh, trying to get that flank, and as you said, there is not much HP on that bar, and you have to be very careful about how you engage when you are away from your Hooper. Now, going for the engage here onto the Rayquaza, Team EX will start once again this objective, but still trying to go into the enemy central. Oh, look at tempo, very low overheat, just zoned them out and guarantee that we're going to escape, and then Alautius will get Nemo down. And how did that even happen? We didn't even get to see it. We're going to look at the replays later, but this is the main choice for Team EX to go for this rip.
Oh, this is terrible. We still have Animo that's going to be coming back, and they actually use the Ho-Oh Unite to bring Animo back, so it's not over yet. It's just going to come down to the execution, but Miraidon is down. Dodrio has been eliminated, though, so it's a 4v4. Ho-Oh going to continue with the burn in that back line. Here comes that Blaziken trying to dish out as much damage as necessary, but Animo, he's low, being chased by a Clefable, will just barely escape,
so close here, and there's a little bit of zoning still happening here with the flamethrower coming out from the Ho-Oh. And honestly, the way they still bought time,
look up top.
Back.
Oh.
Okay, back cap. Now there's time for an Nemo to come here. There's the Hooper with the Phantom Forms is gonna be denied. 40 points on the bot side, 249, 255. It's Team EX who get the Rayquaza, and Denali, this could just as well be a sweep.
Oh, it might be a 2-0 sweep, and I think so many people are going to be confused if it does end up being that 2 sweep. Oh, but 7, 6, the 100 dunks are coming through for Team EX. They have broken through Peru, who so many thought were going to take this series 2-0.